think, act, and prosper. You are now tuned into the Money Level Show.
Next topic, this last topic that I want to talk about. I've been reading a couple of books. One book is the Fourth Turning. Another book is Changing World Order that Ray Dalio recently put out, and it talks a lot about these historical cycles of what we're seeing today. I mean, even right now, just seeming like it's crisis after crisis after crisis. And even in the United States, just looking at the Fourth Turning and the prior 80 to 100 years being the Great Depression and World War II. Before that was the Civil War and then before that was the Revolutionary War. And so it talks about how these 80 to 100-year cycles always end up in a crisis situation. And then historically, you have things like the yin and the yang, peace and war, where people throughout history have always written about these specific cycles. What are you seeing in relation to that, and how this is playing out in our world, our society, and even in the U.S.?
Well, anybody who knows some history will know that the world is always changing, and everything that we thought was true in 1950 was not true 15 years later. Anything, pick any year, and you will see that everything people thought in 1900 was not true in 1915. But that's the way the world works. The main lesson of history, Darrell, is people do not learn the lessons of history. You can sit and say to them, this is what has always happened. And they say, who cares? You don't know what you're talking about. I'm smarter than history. We had a president recently who thought he was smarter than history. Well, I know I'm not smarter than history. And I know that this is the way the world has always worked. The world has always worked that people who are on top eventually go down, whether it's a currency or an economy or an army. And it's always worked that way. It's working that way now. America is the largest debtor nation in the history of the world. Well, history is very clear. When you become the largest debtor nation in the history of the world, something is going to change, and it's not going to be good. So we have to understand that the world is always changing. If we don't understand the world is changing, we're going to get swept away and suffer badly. As I say, Darrell, I say one word. Everything we think is true today will not be true in 2037. It will change dramatically. We have to figure out how it's going to change to survive.
Yeah, definitely. Any tips you can leave the audience with? What are some things that, I know Jim Rogers isn't just oblivious to what's happening. I mean, you're over there stacking gold and silver. What are some other things that people can do to kind of prepare their minds, their spirits, their finances in these times?
Well, the first thing, of course, is to watch the Money Level Show so that you can learn what's going on. And once you learn what's going on, you will become worried, and then you'll figure out a way to protect yourself. And the best way to protect yourself is to invest only in what you yourself know a lot about. I'll tell you what I'm doing, but don't listen to me. If you don't know how to invest in agriculture, please don't invest in agriculture. If you don't know how to invest in silver, please don't invest in silver. Invest in only what you yourself understand and know. That's how you will survive. If you listen to somebody on the internet and then things start going wrong, you don't know what to do because you don't know why you bought it in the first place. Or if things start going right, you don't know what to do because you don't know why you bought it in the first place. So if you stay with what you know, you will be successful. But then people will say to me, oh, but Jim, that's boring. Okay, be boring. You want to be successful? Be boring.